Good evening and welcome to the Orleans Hotel and Casino, home of the award-winning National Finals Tonight show. Brought to you in part by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, Knob Creek, Basil Hayden's, 14 Hands Wines, Ram Rodeo, Boot Barn, Cinch Jeans, Resist All Hats, Montana Silversmiths, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Don Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hi, everybody. We're so glad that you're all here tonight. What a great audience we have here each night. Round 6 is in the books at the National Finals Rodeo, and welcome to all of you joining us here from all over the country, and welcome to everybody watching on the Cowboy Channel out of Nashville, Tennessee. We've got a great show lined up for you here tonight, and great guests and prizes for some of you here in the audience. So I think we should get this thing started and get these guys out here and have a show here. These two guys, both of them 8-time world champion cowboys. The first one in the bull riding, the best ever in my opinion. This is Donnie Gay. Would you welcome him here this evening? Hello, Donnie.
All right.
Hey.
Tuesday night.
Hey. Is it?
Yes. Wait a minute.
It is Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Round 6 is in the books. How are you today?
Very good. Very good.
You know, I wanted to ask you, Don, we started doing Mesquite Rodeo back in 1985 or 86, both of us just out of high school. And we had...
yeah, right.
And so I have so many Neil Gay stories, but I tell you tonight to have your dad in Las Vegas is pretty darn good, isn't it?
Well, you know, to be recognized, you know, hats off to Resist All, Ricky Bolin, just a great friend of mine, one of my traveling partners, and Dad getting recognized with Cotton Rosser.
Yes.
You know, it's a little bit of a changing of the guard, but, you know, you put my dad a horseback now, and he's just like no problem. He walks a little bit slow. He's got that 93 shuffle, but he's doing really well. Mine's good, and there's still, you don't wonder who's the boss when you go on the Rafter G Ranch. That's the reason I live next door.
Yeah. He and Cotton both 93 years of age.
Yeah,
Donnie.
Cotton's 91, I think.
Is he? I thought they announced him at 93. But your dad does still ride his horse. He still likes to go move cows at 93.
The tractor's the scary part. You know, you see him coming, you go, man, I wonder if he sees me. You know, but he gets in the car and he goes up, you know, it's a mile up the road to get the mail, and he's got his Suburban. Well, Jim Gay, my younger brother, he's is the tightest hat band in the world. He didn't renew the license plate or anything. So we think we have Dad, you know, not driving on the highway. And then the highway patrolman says, you know, hey, you need to get that car inspected and get the license on it, you know. So we just thought we had him off the road, but he's doing great.
Yeah. I'll tell you who's got some Neil Gay stories is this next guy coming out. Also the 8-time world champion. I love this guy. Joe Beaver's here. Would you give him a hand? Joseph, throw some gifts out there, will you, Joe? Yeah. Oh, there. Nice.
Bearing gifts. Watch it. Catch them because...
Try not to get that hitch in the head.
All right.
They got a DVD right down front
right
for
here
somebody
on the front
there.
row.
Hello, Joe.
I was lucky enough today to be at the Resist All rookie banquet, and where they honored Cotton Rosser and Neil Gay. You know,
nice.
Look, I've been around those two since I first cracked out. They were older then, but they're two of the toughest men that have done more for rodeo than anybody you can name, and I don't care where you start naming. West Coast Cotton Rosser, Texas East Neil Gay. So congratulations to Neil. I know he's home. He's not out here, but he's one of my favorite, and I think that award is well deserving.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when we were doing Mesquite, and Joe, you probably have a Neil Gay story or two, but
I've seen some good ones.
That Mesquite rodeo, as you know, you could set your clock by it, 2 hours, and it was done. But the guys that were in the chute getting ready to go, if they weren't ready, Neil would start riding over.
He didn't have a clock that he wanted to spend the money on to put up there to put you on the clock. When he walked by and he said, okay, it's about time for you to nod your head. So that was all the warning you got before the gate opened.
Yeah.
And he could get away with that.
And you could get up and you could just be mad, and he'd say, if you want to finish this up, go get out there in that tack room. I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah. Now explain the tack room, because it was legendary there in Mesquite.
Well, they were going to kick my dad out of the association for beating up a tie-down calf roper in the tack room. And, you know, they had the transcript from the calf roper. And he said, I walked in that tack room, and he knocked me down. And he said, he picked me up, knocked me down again. You know, and you know, my dad just said, when you're at my rodeo, you go by my rules.
End of story.
Yeah, one of the first rodeos I ever went to on a permit was Mesquite. And he got a steer wrestler. He told him, get your, you know what, out there to that tack room, and I'll be right there. That steer wrestler was pretty big bowed up. And so I didn't know what was going on. You know, it's like amateur rodeo to me. I'm going to watch. And I stepped up on the deal, and all you could see was Neil back and forth across the door a couple times, the little tack room, and he come out first. And I asked somebody, I said, who's that old son of a gun? So that's Neil Gay. This is his rodeo. Had my deal from then on. I never bitched. I never griped. If I got run over, kicked, whatever, Neil say, how's the calves? Good, Neil, good, thank you.
You know, that's kind of the way it was. I mean, you know, Neil Gay, and I got my Canadian buddies back here. We got the Garstads, you know, but Reg Kessler and Neil Gay and Jim Shoulders, you know, they were some of the best stories. You know, and some of those fights, they weren't mean fights. They were just getting your point across.
Yeah, didn't last long, did they?
No.
No.
I mean, you know, my daddy, who's one of those, who's real, there's a black, there's a white. You didn't rob the bank. You either did or you didn't. And that's a really good excuse, but it's still an excuse. Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just the way we were raised, and it's kind of fun. It's refreshing whenever you see some of this snowflake business going on now.
Yeah.
I saw Reg Kessler in the slack at a Canadian rodeo one day. He was driving cattle out. He had his own mud boots on real high, you know, and a whip in his hand. And I was buddy with this guy, and he was young, strong, you know, and he was cussing the calves walking down the arena. And Reg was coming back from just pinning the calves, and he had this whip in his hand. And he walked by us, and he stopped me, turned around, he said, I've had enough of your... And my buddy turned around and said, I'll tell you what, old man, I'll take that whip and I'll stuff it up. And he said, you might stuff it, but it'll be after you get it out of your head. And I mean, Reg Kessler was old. I mean, he was...
So at San Antonio, I slide up on my bull rope, and I'm fixing to ride his bull. I nodded for the gate's right-hand delivery. I won't ever forget it. This bull's just starting to turn out, and I'm talking about all that hair I had, it curled up because he had that hot shot. When he was going to hot shot the bull, it went down in between my britches, right to my little old butt crack. And I'm talking about lit me up and the bull too.
And he didn't back off any.
I mean, this bull jumps out of the chute. I'm screaming. I can hear people laughing behind. I rode this bull. I'm so mad. You know, I ride the bull. I get off. I turn around and I said, Reg Kessler. Everybody is laughing so stinking hard. I said, I'm whipping your butt, Reg Kessler, when I get back there. And he said, why? And I said, well, you hot-shotted me. And he said, went down your pants. I got you both at the same time. Nobody had an advantage.
No hurt, no foul.
No harm, no foul. And so it was good. I love the guy.
Great stories. There are legends here the rest of the week here, and we're going to talk about some of the people that are in town, Donnie, and it's a great gathering of classic cowboys here, and we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about this rodeo tonight. Isn't this just the best NFR? These rounds are just exciting, and the bull riding, I've never seen it better here, Donnie, in the last 7 or 8 years. These young men are riding some bulls. Well, let's just talk. We end up in a three-way tie in the bareback riding.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about the judges, but let's start the rodeo.
Let's start the judges right here.
All right, you know, we got 4 judges. We got 3 guys winning first place. But you know what? Caleb Bennett, he's riding You See Me, Calgary, Stampede, Bucking Horse. They all bucked 88.5 points. The bareback riding, you know me. Whenever it's good, it's even. I mean, these guys are getting so jerked around, it's not even funny with the riggings that they ride. But you check this out. There's no weakening right there. Caleb Bennett makes a great bareback ride. But then here's a guy that I thought should have won the last 2 go-rounds in a row by
Amen.
himself. Tilden Hooper ain't no angel. This is a Survey bucking horse. I mean, Binion, Chase, Mike, they got good horses every year. But this kid right here from Texas is
If this wasn't a half a point better, I'm blind.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing either. But you know what? They don't care. They didn't ask. And that's just one of those things. They'll split the money, but they're riding so good. Clayton Bigelow, California Cowboy, and this ain't no, I mean, this is Freckle Frog. Just another great bareback ride.
Watch the gate
Wiped
man,
out the
Donnie.
gate
Watch
man.
the gate man
I mean,
on the
wiped him
replay.
out. Watch this.
Kaboom. Okay, so Rowdy Berry. Bullfighter. He
He's
just
down.
took another in the
9,
chop.
8, 7, 6. He's down.
I mean, yeah, but you know what? He got up and he was bleeding, leaked
Yes,
on
he
that
was.
white shirt, but he's okay. Tandy Freeman to the rescue.
World champion steer wrestler Tyler Wagenspack. I said early in the week, don't let him get his momentum up.
Yes.
Guess what they did? His momentum is good. Scooter, horse of the year, is back. Strong. Watch his head catch. This guy's not that big. He catches that left horn, misses it. Everybody says, oh, he's in a bind. He just pulls it down, brings him back, lines him straight down the chutes to the other end, and wham, 3.8 seconds. Tyler's going to win a world championship again. In the team roping, the Miners last night, I thought they may have got a little short hit, but tonight, look at this. Now watch. Last night, if you don't know, he didn't flag Brady on the back end. He lost a leg. Tonight, they could have barbecued this one. He ropes him. He ain't going to get flagged out again. When he ropes 2 feet and heels him, they come tight and tight and tight again to make sure. Look at him pull.
Now
He's
watch him look at, I love him.
Oh, he give Harry that look,
The
didn't he?
look, I love the look. But you know what? This kid looks like he's 12 years old, Dawson Hay. Oh, Canada right here, Rod Hay. Be proud of this kid riding a great bucking horse. Sioux City Sue. Mo Betta, my buddy out there.
Won
Cody
2 rounds on her.
I mean, this is 2 go-rounds. It's a great bucking horse. That's $52,000 these Cowboys have put in the bank because this little mare right here can do the thing. Dawson Hay gets it going. That's got to be fun for his first
You bet.
NFR getting up there on the stage.
Last night, they fooled around and let Ty Harris know he belongs. Tonight, this is one of the best runs you'll see. He roped that calf. Now, you notice he stayed on the saddle longer, but he did that so he didn't jerk the calf down. He kept him up. So when he got there, he was ready to flank and tie. Now, look, big, strong flank. When he hits him, catches him in the air. When he steps across his calf, I call 7 flat. He's 7-1, 2 go-rounds in a row, and he took his grandma to the buckle ceremony.
Yeah.
You dang right. All right, in the barrel race, if Amberly Moore gets by the first barrel about 8 out of 10 times, it's a victory lap. And Paige was on fire tonight. She was right there at the top. She turns that third barrel. She blows off. Everybody thinks it's too long. This mare can fly 13:55.
She can really run
She
because-
wins first because
You
she
know,
blew off.
That's right. But the bull riding,
Here's our boy.
these guys, Boudreaux, he was on the show
Boudreaux
last night.
Campbell.
He said, tequila worm. He said, man, he goes to the left end of my hand. He said, take it away, Leon. That's what he's doing right here. This is really good. 92.5. Pete Carr owns the bucking bull. Boudreaux, he just, he gets off so graceful. But you know what? He's just a good, tough kid and makes a great bull ride. Watch him stand up on his rope, moving the outside foot. That bull's fading. He went from the front. He's all the way out to the barrel out there. It's a great bull ride from a young kid that's really getting it.
What did you
now.
say last night when they were talking about he and Trey Benton got on a lot of practice bulls, 3-year-olds, and Donnie asked him, they had a lot of outs? No, sir, no outs. Donnie said that's what gets you ready because you learn to ride them wherever they go, quick-footed, moving. That bull moved all down the arena, and he rode him like easy.
Patting for a dance. It was
Yes,
just
sir.
a nice bull ride. But the guy, what I like is he felt like he changed some things because he's been here before.
And it didn't work.
And it didn't work
Yep.
very well.
Mm-hmm.
He's won a little bit of money, but now he knows, hey, I can do this.
He's
and
kind of
I
like
belong.
Ty Harris.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Just
belong
like
here.
that.
And
Yeah.
when you know that, with that kind of talent,
That's a fun deal.
You know, when Boudreaux was here last night, you could have almost gone and bet on that. His confidence last night.
there's some places in this town that'll let you do that if you got enough money.
Yeah, I hope he bet on himself because that was outstanding. Joe, I had somebody to ask me today, this Scooter, this horse that you're talking about in the steer, what's that horse worth?
well, I know what he won't sell for because I had a guy approach me last year. He said, I like that idea of that bulldogging team. 12-gauge ranch. It's got Tyler Wagensback, Tyler Pearson, Kyle Irwin, Ty Erickson. And they said, that horse. And I said, well, you're not going to get that horse. We could put a team together. But I know I can't buy that horse. And he said, well, just find out. And I know that $550,000 won't buy him. I know that for a fact. But when you stop and look at it, they're going to win. They're going to win $300,000 on him right here.
I'd be having to rethink that. I'd be petting him a little bit.
Now they win $500,000 a year on him, and Kyle and Tyler own him. Well, they're winning 2/3 of that or half of that, and the other half they're getting a fourth on. So. I really don't blame them if you're going to do it.
And what is it that makes that horse different?
There's 3 things that make Scooter just as good as the other horses. Past Scooter, past Rusty. There's a few of them. That horse, every time you drop your hand, he runs. He's going forward. He's got a unique ability to step left, which a lot of horses in a tight arena, they can't step left. And you'll see both steer estrers wind up. If a steer comes left, jacked up, and they hit their hips on the steer, and they're up over them, and their horns will go by. Tyler Wagonsback about 2 nights ago had a steer that went left. When he left there, Scooter just stepped right over and let him down in there. And the third thing of it is, this horse has made 40, 70, I bet he's made 200 runs in this arena. Not one time have I ever seen him let up at the back end when the chutes are getting big. He puts those guys' feet on the ground. In other words, he runs through the catch. A bulldogging horse has got to put your feet on the ground and not you pull them out of the stirrups. Scooter, I've never seen him leave a guy hanging. Even Ty Erickson and Tyler Pearson, as big as they are, at the back end, Scooter will run to the buck and shoot till his nose touches and then go left. He is a phenomenal equine athlete.
Awesome. Great stuff, Joe. Really good stuff. Hey, let's get this. I love this young man, and we've watched him grow up here at the National Finals Rodeo. Absolutely right. And he is a tie-down roper extraordinaire. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about arena records here for this round when he gets out here. This is Marty Yates. Would you welcome him here to National Finals tonight?
All right. Kind of like watching him grow up.
Well, we've watched him grow up right here, and it's funny you mentioned that. We were just having that conversation. What have I always said, Dan? When he learns to rope 10, he's got a chance to win the world championship. And we were just talking about back, and he said, we were talking about his run tonight, and he said, I don't know if I've matured that much or got that much smarter, but it sure feels good.
It feels good and it looks good, Marty. It's so, and I was going to say, in this round number 6, you have the arena record for round 6, 6.9, 2 different years you have done that here. And how old were you first time you got here, Marty?
I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yep. I wasn't old enough to gamble or drink or anything like that.
That's a good thing.
Well, I don't know. It didn't work out very good.
You just keep putting great years together, Marty. And how old were you when you first met Joe? Do you remember?
Ooh, I was pretty young. I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I don't know. No, I wasn't very big, that's for sure. But no, he's been very inspirational in my roping in my career. But like he's always said, if I learned to catch 10 of them, good things could happen. We haven't got it done yet, but that's for sure the plan.
Well, it's going very well for you this year, just doing outstanding, and we've got some of your rides to take a look at and have you and Joe talk about them. And I want to start out with, let's do a round number 2. You won the round, 7-3, just awesome. Guys, talk about what's happening here.
I'll start off. I mean, this was my game plan coming out here. I didn't take any chances, just a good start. Took 3 swings, got the calf jerked down on her side, 2 reps and a hooey. I mean, that's about as textbook as I can make it look.
I said the other night, you want to see tie-down roping 101, watch this run. And I say that because first you score, then you ride and rope the neck, then you set your flank and tie up. Well, you did everything you're supposed to do that time, but look how fast, because it was so easy. And I will say, we're awful glad to have this bay partner back too.
Absolutely, yeah. My girlfriend Taylor and my vet Marty Tanner, they're here tonight, and if it wasn't for them too, I wouldn't be riding this phenomenal bay horse here. It's been a full year. Last year in the 8th round was the last time I got to run a calf on him in a rodeo, and to come back and for him to be this good, I shouldn't even say good. I mean, that horse is great.
What happened to him, Marty?
He tore suspensory in his left hind leg.
It's like a person tearing a hamstring or something. It might heal, it might not heal, but without the right hands on it, it's 50% chance of not. But you put Marty Tanner in charge of one that you know that you got to make a living on. And we talked about it this summer a couple times when he'd check him, and he'd say, I saw Buster today, and I said, we need him in December, and he did all he could to get him back to where he's at.
That's right, and I mean, I wouldn't be having the success out here that I am. I mean, and honestly, it gave me confidence throughout the year to make the finals, just because I knew Marty Tanner was going to have that horse ready for me here.
Let's
Tonight?
let's take a look at tonight. This is
a great run, and I'll tell you 3 reasons why you can watch. You watch the Kev go left. We've seen more than one guy miss one this week going left because it's away from your rope, and in this arena, for some reason, it's hard to get over far enough, fast enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I tell you what, you can go a lot of places, big arenas. I don't care how big they are. When a calf goes left in this building, it's the hardest throw in the PRCA. I don't care where you're at, what you're doing. The Thomas and Mack is hard to get one when they go left.
And the thing about what I'm so proud of, and we're talking about his roping matured, and he's made better decisions, is right there is 50-50 catch. One more swing, and you talked French with that loop. I mean, you put some English, French, Spanish on it. You roped him as clean and pretty as you could. That sets up the chance to hold your slack and turn him around.
Absolutely. I could have threw it the swing before, but it was a maybe shot. And to win a gold buckle, I feel like it's not going to take no maybe shots. It's going to have to be a for sure thing. And that's why I took one more, got the calf turned around. She was ready to flank when I got there. Bobbled, picking my string up just a little bit right there, but that's the only flaw in that run. Got a good check and look to run another one tomorrow night.
I mean, holding the slack with your right hand, you normally do, but you even took some more slack up with your left hand. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it don't. That's a little thing Tough Cooper likes to call the double barrel, and I really don't know where I learned to do that at, but it works in certain situations. You can use it good, and you can also use it bad. There's times when I think it's not smart to use it. It ruins your horse a little bit, but right there, you can't make a horse work much better than that. So.
And here's another thing we talked about tonight, and Dan, we've talked about it on the road on this fields before other people. Everybody this day and age thinks to turn the calf around, you have to go to the inside with your slack, the left side. Well, that's all fine and dandy till your calf is off to the left. And they try to cram it down in there, and they wind up jerking them down or winding them up down there, and they can't get them up. We talked about before you run this calf, don't panic, go to the outside. Why is the outside easy on this setup?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not an outside guy, but in this building, you don't have a choice. I mean, it's
if they go left,
you don't have a choice. You have to go to the outside, and like I say again, I keep watching this video. Riding a horse like that, you don't have a choice because he is on his butt, getting back, dead straight. You can't ask one to do any different. And the only way to get a calf turned around is to go to the outside right there. It's a little out of my element, but I might be getting just a little bit better, so it's sure fun to watch this video.
Well, watching you keep doing that, but I noticed both calves, when you went to flank, they're almost jumping up in your lap for you to lay them down. I mean, that's the timing whenever he's talking. And that's how I've learned to it's made me able to watch the calf roping better.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody talks about, and Joe says this too, it takes time out of your run to keep the calf standing. Well, that's true, but not always.
No, it takes time to make it, but it makes time up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It makes time up, but you've seen the round that I won on the red ball face calf. I jerked that calf down really hard and flat, but that calf was so snappy and my go was so snappy, she stepped right up to me.
And then you don't have to wait in the stirrup.
It was
it can be gone,
it was just the timing was impeccable. That's just what impressed me.
But that's something, too, that I haven't seen since you had Chicken, really. To where he had a star horse named Chicken he won a lot of money on when he was younger, first coming to the national finals. But the timing that you get out of your horse is how you ride your horse. It's like the bullet steer wrestlers right now. There's 2 guys that steer wrestle great, but their goes are not very good catching the head. And if you'll stop and watch a video, it's because they're not riding all the way to the catch. Well, same thing in the tie-down roping, you know. If you take that throw that you might have would have took a year ago or so, you know, and not got the good go, you're not 8 flat, 7, whatever, 9. What was your tonight? 8-1,
7-5.
7-5.
Give me a little more credit than that.
Well, I thought you was 10, but you know, I'm not. The 7-1 run is a day money going at him. The 7-5 is you want to keep placing, you want to win first, second, the average, and then you got a chance.
That's right. I mean, like you said a year ago, when Ty Harris is 7-1 in front of me, and I'm sitting back there in that tunnel, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to be 6'9", because I want to beat him by just a little more than 1/10, you know. But that's maturity, just like you say. I probably did have a throw to catch the calf to be 7 flat, but hey, I'm placing an average. I need to hold my spot, and I'm looking to bigger and better things than a go-around buckle.
He is matured a lot, but it did take me 3 times to remind you tonight. When I'm standing down there, and he come pull my earpiece, and I knew he had something up. I was like, he said, "Now you sure? You sure I don't need to mash yet?" No, don't mash yet. Just go win what you can win, and stay hooked. Somebody will mess up. You sure I don't need to mash yet? No, don't.
I'm the type of guy I like to have my foot on the gas, always. But I'm fortunate enough to have guys like Joe and Trent and everybody to tell me, hey, it's okay. We got a game plan. We're going to stick to it. And we're going to keep making my run. I was 11 seconds last night, and I couldn't stand it. I thought I lost my spot. I didn't think I had it. I need to win in the go-rounds. I need to win a day money. But no, I don't. I need to keep winning third, keep winning second. When they give me a good enough calf, like the red ball.
Then you go at them.
Yeah, then you win a day money. But the throws I'm taking, I feel very confident in it, and I think I got a few more in my bag.
Jim Shoulders, in 1959 said, if you got the best one on them, you go win first and do what you've trained to do. If you got the sorriest one in the pen, win fourth, and then come back and beat them in average.
Absolutely. It's a hard thing to conquer in my brain. It might be pretty small up there, but we might be figuring something out.
But just like last night, you said you're 11, you felt like, oh, man. Well, look, tonight, that fast, somebody else had a little mistake, and it moves you up that ladder, just boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I dropped down 3 spots last night, dropped down to 5th in the average, and I'm looking at it all day and thinking about it, and I'm, gosh dang, I ain't got a chance no more. One more night, bounce back. I'm winning 3rd in average now, back to 3rd, win a little more money, bump you up there, and you got a whole different outlook about it now.
What I want to ask you, this is your 6th time here to the NFR. You're 25 years old and you're a veteran here. There's a lot of these young guys, Marty, that are coming up that are outstanding young ropers.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Haven Medjid. He is, we're deep in this NFR, and he has done the same thing every night. I mean,
he is mistake-free.
Mistake-free. Yep. He's got a clean neck shot, been great at the barrier. He hasn't picked up. He hasn't been late yet. He's got a good go every night, and he ain't messed his string up once. Nope. And he's winning the average for a reason. I don't look for that guy to make a mistake. I hope to just keep catching him, win second the average, and that better be enough.
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, Marty and I was talking about this, but I was telling Dan the other night, there's 5 guys in the top, 22 or 3 that are young that didn't make it. They'll add to this next year.
Absolutely. You're about to see a young man come up here, Kobe Douch, and he's got a brother that's as ropey as they come. There's plenty of guys, lots of young talent. Kef Open's in a great place. Ty Harris, 2 round wins in a row. He got his head screwed on right finally, and I think he might win a few more before the week's over.
That's the reason that I say most of the time at all rodeos that I'm doing, if I'm announcing in the arena during a performance or something, and I say the tie-down roping is the hardest event to win consistently because there are so many people coming up that are riding good horses that can rope. It's an amazing thing. So, and what you've done, it's just been very, very impressive to me.
That's what drives guys like me to be better, is the younger generations coming up. I mean, we wanted to be like Cody, Joe, Fred. We wanted to be like those guys growing up. And now, I'm not saying I'm to the pedestal they are, but there's young kids looking at me, Ty Harris, saying, hey, I want to beat that guy. And, I mean, that's where 7.1 comes from tonight. I mean, he was 65 years ago, he was watching TV at home saying, hey, I want to beat that guy. And that's just what it takes.
Yeah, and 5 years ago, you were him here.
Exactly.
Wanting to beat the other guys. And
they did.
Yeah, and they did. And now I think that's what builds such future in rodeo is when you have the guys like Marty, down to Ty, down to Kobe, down to the Tyler, the next group. It's just like watching a bull ride. If I'm Boudreaux Campbell sitting around high school watching tapes, and which I've seen him do it when he was in high school, he wants to beat you and JW and, Sage and all those guys. That's the drive that the champions have in them to keep them going. And it makes you better every year. And I can honestly say, we've seen it. Marty's gotten better every year. So if you get better every year, sooner or later, they're going to reward you.
Yeah, sooner or later, you get hard to beat. And just like you say, any guy that it takes, you got to be competitive. Guys like Caleb Smith, he's had a rough week, but, he's the guy you look at and you want to beat. When you pull up to a rodeo, you see Caleb Smith's name down. That's the guy, hey, I got to go through Caleb today to win something. And if it wasn't for having a competition, well,
We'd all just quit.
Exactly.
Okay, so now in real time, how many horses do you have in the wings that you're working on?
Not enough.
Never enough.
I just wonder how do you try to stay up with that? I mean, for on the road you got a couple, but then you got to have 2 more in the bank somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got this horse is obviously this is the only one I'm worried about this week, but I got 2 other horses that they're the 2 horses I made the NFR on this year, and they're both good horses, but they're not great horses, and great horses is what it takes to be very consistent, in my opinion.
This one won't go to a lot.
Absolutely
he's
not,
already
no.
had an injury. You got him back. This horse might go to San Antonio, maybe Fort Worth.
Yep.
He'll go, to the finals,
To the
or
American.
if the tour and American, if the tour finale is big. But this horse is worth big money every time you ride him, so he's gonna have to put him on the back burner, Donnie. So he's gonna have to have more, to
exactly.
make up.
And everybody always asks me, well, are you looking for a horse? Well, if you ain't looking for a horse every day, all day, well, you're wasting time, because if you should always be looking for one. It doesn't matter whether you think you've got plenty of them. Well, guess what? Next week you won't. And I've been the guy to have 4 pretty good ones standing around, one really good one, and guess what? Next week, all 4 of them could be crippled. I mean, you better always be looking, and we're thankful enough in the calf roping to be able to mount out a little bit and get on other guys' horses, but it's sure nice to know what you're riding when you're back in there.
Well, it's been my privilege to watch you grow up out here. I liked this guy when he was 19 years old. He came out here. Not only does he have talent, he's got that attitude that just is a winner, and he's a winner. This is Marty Yates. Would you give him a hand and thank him for coming out to see us here tonight?
Good young man. Johnny Wayne and all of them are awfully proud of him.
Yeah, him and Roe will be looking down, watching this like
Yes,
that tonight.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys know what I mean. There's just there's just something about a winner, and you can't put your finger on it. But
And you know what else? You can't put that in somebody.
No,
you can try,
no.
but you're either born with it or you're not.
It's whatever it is.
It is. That's right.
That is it.
Yeah.
If we could figure out what it is and bottle it, you'd never see me and Donnie again.
That's right.
And we'd be gone.
Yeah. Well, he's got it.
He does.
So does this next young man that Joe wants to talk
He
about
does.
here. This
He
is
does.
a couple of nights ago. Joe had 3 young people, and it's part of Joe's life. It's his mission to help these young people. And we had 3 up the other night.
We did, and he was here, but I wouldn't let him come.
Because now-
he's my,
Tell him the whole thing.
This one's my boy. This is my boy right here. I mean, I see him every day when I'm home. He ropes every day, and I've fed him 1,000,000 meals, and he's got it. But the other night, we invited 3 of my kids that had won big money at a big junior contest over here, Well, he was with them. So he shows up with them back here, and we're filling out forms so they can come up. And he said something about coming up, and I was like, you ain't coming up, Kobe. Just because I love you, you didn't win first. You didn't win a big roping, so you can stay back there in the back. And if you happen to win a big roping this week, then we'll see. So today, down there at the plaza, they had a big junior open, and he wins $3,500 in a saddle. And the first thing he says is, "What about now?" so
Come on up here.
So, Kobe Douch, bring your little smart cell phone up here, boy.
Give this guy a hand, will you? This young man right here. Kobe, come right in the middle here.
boy.
Hey,
There
you
we go.
talk the talk and walk the walk. Good deal.
So this is my boy Kobe Douch. Marty was talking about his brother John missed the national finals by 1 spot this year. Yeah, he should make them next year. But Kobe, I put him in a bind, I guess, and this was is this a short go today?
Yes, this is the video we got today.
He come back
for
winning
you.
6th out of the top 10. And when I had to go leave and do resist all talk, and I said, "Look, man, you got to tie one fast." And he just comes back, plays in 2 rounds, ties his last calf in 7-4. Wins the short go, wins the average, so now you're up here. What does it feel like to get to come up here?
Feels good.
Does it feel, hey, does it feel better than the other night when you were standing back there?
A lot.
Put a little drive in you, didn't I, huh?
Yes, sir, you did.
See, we see Donnie and I have no room for people that just don't win a lot,
Yes.
We can care about you, but we really don't like you unless you win, okay? So what did you do? I had to leave in the short go, and you were 6th. And what is the last thing I told you?
Score good, ride my horse, and
Don't beat who? Don't beat who? Yourself
Myself.
or somebody else?
don't beat myself.
Okay, 7.4 seconds later, He wins the short go, wins the average. I had to give him a chance because I kind of made him mad the other night when I said he couldn't come up. So give Donnie the mic. Go get some rest. You got another open in a couple days. And
All right.
I
Round of
love it
applause
right
for
there.
young man. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm telling you,
Awesome.
you know, it's a good thing that he's not really his parent because he would go to jail for child abuse. He's tough on him, I tell you.
probably so.
He's
Joe,
tough on him.
where did you meet his family at?
John Kobe had to be about, how old are you now? 15 the other day or four? Okay. So he was about 7. John must have been about 14. They had a horse they wanted to sell, and they come over to my house and brought him and was needing some money to go to some rodeos. And I looked at him, and John was about 14, and his dad said, Cookie said, John, get on that horse and show him. And I saw John, he's like, I said, what's wrong with that horse, Cookie? Nothing. So he walks off, and I told John, he's about 14, come on. I said, what's wrong with that horse, John? He said, I ain't riding him, he crazy. So I watched him go a couple, and he was right. He was terrible. He was crazy, terrible. So he got done, and Cookie's, I can't remember what he wanted, said $1,000, whatever. It wasn't much. So he got done. I said, tell you what I'm going to do, Cookie. I'm going to pay you $500 to take the horse home because I don't really want him either. And he said, I'm almost just going to give him to you because I don't want to take him. Rock on about 6 months or a year. I mounted John at one of my junior opens. He was 15. He won the 15 and under, the 19 and under, and second in the 21 and under. Wow. And he's been with us ever since. And made the college finals twice. Was one out making the national finals this year. And Kobe has set him on fire. Kobe's probably won $15,000 in the last month.
John will be here next year.
Yeah, Donnie's seen John go a lot, you know what I mean? He's,
you know, just unfortunate, you know, but here again, it's you got to set your goals and your sights up there early, often, and continual.
Yep.
You can't wait to the end of the year.
No, and I kind of was concerned, you know, because you don't know. If you've never been in that situation, one out of being where you want to be, I kind of was wondering how it was going to affect him. You know,
if you just said, well, you could be number 16, you could have all the money that the 16th man in the PRCA has won in the tie down roping. There's a lot of guys that sell out right there. Oh yeah, especially if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
And he won 84,000 and didn't make it. You know, I mean, it wasn't like he didn't win something.
So it's a really big deal, you know, but until you make the national finals, you really don't know if you can.
That's right. And it's kind of been one of those deals where, okay, let's see how you deal with it. And, you know, it's been over since September. And he's won about 25,000 at jackpot since then. He's roped every day. He's wore out calves right and left. And, you know, when I saw that, I think that did more for me knowing what he wanted to do than if he makes it 15th and really doesn't even care. You know, this is a building time. I told him this is either make you or break you. Let's see how tough you are.
You know, I thought I was going to be the champion of the world in 1973, and Bobby Steiner kicked my tail all over Oklahoma City, and that probably helped me win 8 world titles more than anything else, is coming in second when I thought I should have been first.
When you knew you should have been first. Yeah.
That's great stuff, Joe. Kobe, we wish you the very best. Yeah, good luck to that young man. I love that. Let's get this next young man out here. And as we've talked about this whole 6 days into this, the bull riding here, and I texted you tonight.
It's so much more. You know what? Even just to try, Donnie talks about watching. There's so much more trying that locker room in there.
The whole atmosphere, attitude seems to be better for the whole group of guys because everybody is going in the same direction. There's good bulls in the draw,
and there's bad,
and there's bad. There's always a better one, but everybody's taking what they got and making the best of it. That's what I like. And it started off on a good note. Sometimes that's what it takes. But I thought the first performance of the National Finals bull riding was the best performance of bull riding that I'd seen in over 10 years here.
Yeah, and this young man is right in the middle of it. Would you welcome Tyler Bingham is here tonight. Tyler, come on out here, young man. Yeah, baby.
Thank you, buddy.
You know what usually happens here, right?
I've never been to this talk show.
Okay, well, usually when you leave this talk show, you can ask Boudreaux, the next night, you win the go-around.
Well, shoot, I hope it goes that way then.
You got a pretty good bull tomorrow night, don't you?
Oh, I got an awesome bull, yeah. I got Mobster of Birch Rodeos, and shoot, I've watched him for the last couple of years.
Good
Sounds
deal.
like you got family and friends here with you tonight.
Yeah,
out
I
there.
got my wife, my mom, my dad.
Yeah,
In-laws.
I see him back there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hey, if that
They're
didn't
all
make
here.
you want to win a go around, then you're wrong.
Yeah, that's right. I always want to win the go-around, but they're here every perf.
Tyler, you started off with a bang and have kept it going here. And so talk about getting off on the right foot before we take a look at you at work. How was round one?
Because you've been here before.
Yep.
And you've always done pretty good. But now you're doing really good.
Well, last year, I won more money up to this point than I did this year, but I've rode twice as many bulls this year. I just haven't been winning the big money, but it's still been pretty good.
Well, you know, you've ridden twice as many bulls, and so riding 7 out of 10 is going to win a pile of money in the average, which, you know, that comes afterwards. I never really ever thought about the average because it's what it is. You got to ride some of these bulls and win some money in the go-rounds, win some day monies, and the rest of it takes care of itself. It's the way I always thought. And I'm watching you. I thought you could have won a go-round the other night, but they won't let me judge, so, or anything else for that matter. But
Well, I wish you were judging then, because I would take a lot of go-round wins if I could. If I was the judge, obviously I'd mark myself high.
Oh, well, what I was going to say is before anybody feels sorry for you, how much money have you won so far here?
I have won almost 40,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
40,000. No, that's great. I mean,
No,
that's
that's
awesome.
not bad
That's
for
awesome.
40 seconds worth of work, huh? Let's take a look here at round one. Tyler, you and Donnie can talk about this. This was a 90-point ride here, Donnie.
oh yeah, and Danny Reagan's probably the next happiest guy in town.
Yeah, he was hooping and hollering. I'll tell you what. He thought that was just the greatest thing in the world.
Bull went both ways with you, you know, just trying to slide you off your rope. You just cut loose. You know, you're a bigger guy than some of the bull riders.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but you just look really comfortable.
Oh, I was so excited to have Miko. That bull, I've wanted him for years and years, and I finally drew him, and I don't think I could sleep that night. I was excited after I seen the draw.
Well, you made good work of that. Got a check. Got to the pay window. Let's move along to this next. Let's
go to round number 5, Donnie. He got an 89-point score in round number 5. You guys can talk about it there.
All right, talk about this. Here we go, right here. This bull's going to go out here. Looks like he's going to go right now. He goes back to the left with you. You're off of your bull rope. You're spurring. You're hustling. This right here, to me, that was the best ride of the night. Pink night. Got the pink shirt on. Rides the black bull.
Shoot, that's the first time I ever even rode with the pink glove. It's black and pink, and I was pretty excited.
I never had one of those either.
I never had one, and they handed it to me the other day, and I was pretty happy about it. But I'll tell you what gets me going more than anybody is on the back of the chutes, you got Sage back there, and me and Sage, we've traveled together for the last 2 years, and you can see him hooping and hollering back there. And before I ever got on that bull, he was excited because he won Pendleton Roundup this year on that bull. And so he was extremely pumped
Okay,
up.
so
Yeah,
I
he said
want
there
y'all-
ain't no way anybody else is going to win the go-around if I ride that
I
bull.
want you to watch. It's where your ass is whenever you're riding bulls, whether or not you make the whistle. Okay, so look at this. It's up in the air. It's coming into his hand. He's fixing to buck off. Watch this. How he moves that over and gets it back in the right spot. That was probably the best move. They docked you, in my opinion, because you weren't in total control of this bull, but that was by far the best bull that got rode in that performance.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's obviously you can see that I had some mistakes in that bull ride, but there's one thing that I do got more than anybody else, and that's absolutely do not open my hand.
You're not going to let go. You're not going to quit trying, but you can't just hang on. You've got to move your butt over there. You cut loose with both legs. Nothing but your hand touching that sucker and your free arm out there with your elbow down. That is textbook bull riding. And if you want to be a world champion, that's how you got to ride bulls every stinking day. And I was so impressed and I was so disappointed that you didn't win the round.
You know,
because you know, anybody in the world, you read the judging handbook and it says, the guy that rides the toughest, best bull under reasonable control wins the bull riding.
That's right. And, you know, I got a little
They
wild
forgot
there
to
for a
read
minute,
that.
but I'll tell you what.
Look at that!
You know, do you know how we know that was one hellacious ride? Donnie's gonna need the Justin Healer tomorrow. Did you see him out here?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Had him off his, you had him on his feet.
I'm still trying to move my ass over there.
You had him on his feet out here, Tyler. You did something.
Well, that always makes you excited when you can get an 8-time world champion to get, even more excited about your bull riding than you were.
I want to talk about tonight's as well, because you were as pumped after this tonight, Tyler. Just outstanding tonight. But if we've got that, let's take a look at this as well.
What is this bull, Tyler? I forgot.
Deaconator of Matt Sharping's under Sankey Pro Rodeo.
Just right there to the left. That's just textbook. And you see where his free hand is? This is all timing. This is rhythm. He's not straining at all. This has got to be so stinking much fun.
I'll tell you what, in my head, this bull ride only felt about like 5 seconds. This one just went. The
Well, you
whistle
made it
blew
look-
before
you-
I was ready for it to blow. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I'm glad it did because he pulled me down on his head and hit me.
Okay,
but
so did you get a little love tap on your lips right there?
yeah,
at the
it
end?
got me just right under the face mask, right in the bottom of the jaw. But shoot, it probably hurt him worse. I was pumped.
You don't ride a bull any better than that right there. If you're a riding school lifting, sitting up there, you hear all these. This is not drills. This is not 1, 2, 3. This is riding bulls. This is in rhythm, in time, and it's got to be a lot of fun. And man, at the halfway point, getting the NFR going on the downhill slope, those bulls are coming back. You've already seen them once, except for the re-rides. This has got to be. Are you as pumped as I am for you guys?
Oh, I'm more pumped. I wish we could go another 10 rounds, honestly. I'm not sore.
I used to feel the
I'm good to
same
go.
way. I mean, it was a long time ago, but
Yeah. I mean, same with last year. I mean, I felt like we could have won another 10 rounds, and it's just not long
Can you
enough.
put that picture that you just had back up there? And this is the rhythm coming out. Watch him hold that gate right there. It's a left-hand delivery. Got it right hand out. You see, he wasn't gripping the gate. That's just a move. That was all rhythm. It's just like taking your dance partner in a good waltz. I don't know how to do that either, but it sounded good.
So I was just gonna, Joe cut me off right here. I was just gonna say, so we got Sage on the back of the chutes again, and if it rolls this through a little bit further, after I get off this bull, you see Sage actually reach down there and pat me on the back. I just sent it to him in a text, and I said, "Thanks for the encouragement, bud." I mean, it's just like a big team back there in the locker room. We all root for each other. I mean, you can see Stetson over here, everybody.
Y'all love each other. You just
absolutely.
you just want to beat each other's brains.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I could care less to beat any of my friends. I just hope my bull's a half point better than theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Tyler, let's talk about Team Bingham that's here. What family, who all is out there supporting you out there?
So I got my wife right here, Jerica.
She's
and
on the
then
front row.
The lights are really bright, so I can't see where everybody else is, but my
There's
dad's
right
out
there by that.
Your dad's out
There's
there.
My mom's out there. And then my brother Tim, which has been here three times in the past, he's out there. Cameron Cook, Amanda, the whole family, all the cooks are out there somewhere. And shoot, it's awesome to have all your friends and family with you. They live right by us, and they've been with us literally since we were from the mutt and busted up. The cooks have been awesome.
That's cool,
to us.
and we're so appreciative of your time because everybody wants you to come and be on their shows and sign autographs and one thing and another, and you're still trying to make a living and win a world championship.
Hey, that's
I
right.
know that's what you're thinking about.
Yeah. You know what? So I've never really pictured myself as a world champion. I've always felt like I could win, and I could always compete with everybody. But I woke up sometime in the end of September, 1st of October, and I literally told myself that I could win a world title. And then ever since then, I've been riding everything.
That's where it starts. I mean, Joby and I.
If you don't believe it yourself, nobody else is going to convince you.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
starts right here. That's right.
Exactly, and you can see it in my NFR last year. I only rode 2 bulls, and then you can see it this year. I've already rode 4, and I mean it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
And then I got to give one more shout out to one little chubby guy out there, G-Man Norby. He's out there. There he is.
He
I
keeps
didn't see
jumping in
his
the
hand.
back. He's jumping in the back.
Yeah, I knew he'd be mad and give me crap later if I didn't give him a shout out.
Awesome. It's great
Good
to have
deal.
the support here. It's so
No,
good to
they're
have
awesome.
you here. You're
Yeah.
just doing outstanding here, and we wish you nothing but the best. You got a great draw tomorrow night, so
Hey, yeah, it's awesome.
And you've done this show, so go win the day money.
Hey,
yeah,
that's
you
right.
win
That's
tomorrow.
right.
Tyler
Win the
Bingham
day
right there.
money.
If you give him a hand.
Come back if you can.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Future of bull riding is bright.
He never got his hand away from it.
Just riding extremely well.
Wow, just great.
stuff,
It's
good
it's good stuff, and loving watching that. And I love seeing the family and friends out there with them. It's exciting to see the support that they all have. Just awesome. I think they told me in my ear that this gentleman is back there. Yeah, he's back there. Let's get him out here and we've just got a few minutes left here, and let's just talk a little rodeo with the 11-time PRCA Rodeo Announcer of the Year. Bob Tallman's here. Would you give him a hand and welcome him out to the show with us tonight?
Bobby T.
I got a shoe shine just for you,
Bobby T.
Man.
brother.
Oh, baby.
Bob, what I want to do here, because we've had so many of these young people coming and it's just you can feel the change this year in these young people coming up. And you've seen it when Joe was the young gun in town, and when Donnie, back when he had hair, was the young guy in town and doing so awesome. But it does change, doesn't it? Isn't it exciting to see these kids coming
Well,
along?
for the two guys you've had on here, I've been watching Marty Yates since he was like that big, watching his aunt win title after title after title.
Yep.
Watch their family exceed and excel, and then they might have a loss. And in the last year, the Cougar, his grandmother, one of my greatest friends in the world in Texas, and we lost her. And the word you used, and you followed up with it with Marty, is maturity.
Yeah.
And that's the key. When it comes to Bingham boys, I've been watching them since they first started show up, okay? And I've seen them at the big shows out west when they'd come to Reno. And then I'd see them off in Plains, Montana. Or I could see them, show up at Calgary or Santa Maria or Red Bluff. And here, between the two of them, one would get hot and the other would be dragging along. Then the other one would get hot and the other would be dragging along. When you've got a brother that you've got to compete with, and that's blood. That's, blood's thicker than water. It's better than money. And to watch that has happened. I spent about 3 hours today with Paul Tierney, okay, PT 103.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah.
And his daughter became Miss Rodeo America yesterday, but he's got a 28 down to 24 in those kids, Paul David and Jess.
Yep.
Jess has been to the Steer Open Finals 7 or 8 times. And we watch him, and I see him in the circuit finals all the time at Minot in October. And I watch what Paul did back in the late 70s and into the 80s. And I said, because I'd listen to what he says and what he says. How much money did you win the year you win the all-around? And it was 85 or 6. He said, the most money I ever had in my life, $105,000. That's steer roping, calf roping, and bulldogging.
Yep.
Okay? Before Paul Tierney ever showed up in the country, he was a hell of a bronc rider and a bareback rider, and he'd try to ride bulls too. That's the cowboy in him, and I've heard you say that half a dozen times. Colby, that's the cowboy in him. And this is what makes him come. And it's the family. All of you are our family, and they have family, and they have friends. And that gentleman he gave a shout out to said he's been there with us since we were mutton busters. Okay? If you don't have that character, it puts them behind. And I love to brag on them kids, and I'm so proud of what you do with your kids. I've watched him coach kids for 40 years.
Yep.
And his deal was, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to help you, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to help you, but I'm going to beat you first. And when it's your turn, then we'll let you win. It's a part of society. It's a part of the family thing. Big brother, little brother, and then the cousin shows up.
I have a question for you. This is your 11th time to be PRCA Announcer of the Year. So somebody said to me, well, if Bob's PRCA Announcer of the Year, why isn't he announcing the National Finals Rodeo? Or I'll just let you answer that. I won't get in any deeper than that. But
8 years ago, I was diagnosed with a disease called arachnoiditis. Okay, Drew Dossett. And it's a channel that goes down your back, and your nerves run from the back of your up here to your spine, and it goes from your toes to your nose. And your nerves start to touch together, and they coagulate. When it does, it kills them. And at one point, remember my red-pink walker that I had?
Yes.
Okay. And I graduated from that in a cane into that walker, and the next thing was going to be a wheelchair. And I said, no, we can't do this. So Drew Dossett sent me to a guy named Bob Bulger in Dallas, pain management guy. That guy sent me to a holistic doctor named Dr. Harris, and we did the PRP. I don't know if you understand what this is, prolotherapy, lidocaine injections. Most difficult thing of elective of what you're going to do. And I went, first few months of that, it was 200 shots every other week from my toes clear up to the back, and it brought me out of it, okay? I don't take anything but maybe a Tylenol once in a while now. So I could not do the job that Buck wanted, Sean Davis, wanted done. And I said, calf rope. If I can't take it, I can't do it, I'm going to step away, and I did.
Let me break in just a moment, because you said it the other day, is the best saying I've heard. I mean, maybe for a lot of us, you know, we need to be working out a little bit. He said, but he was on his knees praying. He went to get up, and he couldn't get up. And he said, my feet said to my ass, my belly's too big.
So that was about 17 days ago, and I've lost 15 pounds.
I like it.
And I'm working on it. I've got a bet with Craig Haythorne that I can lose 20 pounds by the Ranch Rodeo at Fort Worth, 40 pounds by the Ranch Rodeo at Abilene. But here's what it comes to. Once you step away from this, and I've been there 20-some times, but I've been there actually 38 times, because when we weren't doing rodeo, we were doing Heston television. Sometimes we did both. When we weren't doing the Great American Cowboy Radio Show, we were doing that and television and the rodeo live. And or if I didn't do it, I was doing the television. So I have been to the NFR, and he'll remember the very first time, 1972. And I flanked Oscar the night that his brother spurred the holy out of him. No shaps, and I mean did come a-clicking. So I packed flanks in there, worked for $15 a day for Buster Ivory. And every day in the morning, we'd quit at midnight, get up at 5, and go to work with Buster, Carl Schnabely and I, and Jerry Mariluch. And it paid $15 a day. That was my first paycheck at the NFR, 1972. I have never missed one since 1972, and it's not the paycheck. It's being a part of the family and the system. And I am going to never regret of what I've done. I'm excited to be here, and if it wasn't for Boyd Gaming and Wrangler and Boot Barn and Prevert and on and on and on, all these people that pay us year-round, it's payback time. And tomorrow is Boyd Gaming Day. Tomorrow is Boyd Gaming Night at the NFR, and my dear friend and boss, Jackie Ferrando, and I will be in the arena to make a special presentation, and it's...
Right off the stage, Coach. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's more blessed than I am? Nobody. Jesus. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you so much, and I just wanted to get those answered, but if you would, please pay him off. Give him a hand. Bob Tallman.
Best ever.
The best
Behind
ever,
the
right
microphone.
there. The best ever. The best down here. Joe Beaver, thank you tonight. Donnie Gay, thank you so much for being here. Folks right here, stay with you. Donnie and I are going to give away some prizes here right after we say goodbye to the folks on the Outdoor Channel. Thank you for watching. We hope that you do the same again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody, from the Orleans here in Las Vegas.